And we are live looking at what's going on with gold right now. Gold has officially surpassed $2,100. This is so crazy. Let me check, make sure all my settings, audio is looking good. Looks like the audio is working. Okay, so we got, I'm like freaking out right now. This has never happened before. Okay, gold has never hit 2100 intraday. So we're sitting at 2104 at the moment. What's up, chat? Welcome. This is a historic moment. Gold for intraday trading, the highest it's ever been was like 2080, somewhere around there. So to be above 2100 is absolutely insane, and it just went up 2105. So this is crazy. I mean, I have the 1 year chart pulled up right here, but if we go to all, I mean, we could see literally we're a new all-time high. Now, one thing I do want to point out is that if you do adjust for inflation, back in 1979, the price of gold was over $3,000, so it was like 3,300, adjusted for inflation. But just looking at the nominal price, it's never been over 2,100, never. So this is absolutely crazy. Let's take a quick peek over at silver. Silver sitting at 25.81. It's only up 20 cents, which is just so crazy. We're going to move back to the 1 month chart and look at the GSR because the gold silver ratio is going up. What is going on with this? I mean, literally, gold is going up. It's screaming. And silver's barely going up at all. Silver's like not even moving. So gold is moving faster than silver right now. I mean, this is absolutely insane. This is something we don't normally see. I mean, oh my goodness. So, yeah, whenever I see gold and silver both going up, I'm expecting the gold silver ratio to go down just because silver like almost always moves faster than gold, but not right now. So I'm wondering if silver's going to catch up maybe next week, next month. But let's move back to gold. I mean, look at this. Now 2109. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. Wow. All right, what's up, chat? We got to do a poll here. Let's see. Hey, Golden Dragon. Yeah, to the moon, LOL. Gold goes up on Christmas. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, let's do a poll. How do I do that? Sorry, guys. Give me a second here. We're going to vote on gold price. I'm curious. Let's see here. Okay, engage. Start Q&A. No, I want to start a poll. Start a poll. Okay. Where will gold end the year at? Because I just did this poll a few days ago. Let's see. Under 2,000. 2,000 to 21, which it's already over that. And we're going to say over 2,100. Okay. let's see if it's changed, because you guys were like basically thinking it was not going to go much higher between, I guess, last week and the last week and the end of the year. But I'm going to start the poll now and we'll see what you guys think, because now that it's already over 2,100, it doesn't seem that weird that it would be higher than that at the end of the year. Of course, we could get a pullback. You know, we don't know exactly what's going to happen. Excuse me. Let me get a drink of water here. By the way, how are you all doing? It's Sunday night. I'm sure a lot of people are watching football right now, but I just wanted to pop on, take a look at everything that's going on. I got some news stuff pulled up we can take a look at. Also, by the way, gold futures, look at this. Gold futures have never been this high. So $2,121, up $31 on the day. I mean, what is going on with this? Right? Let's go to 1 year gold futures. Obviously, it's the high for the year. It's the high for all time. Gold futures have never been this high. Back in August, they were at $2,028. Now they're over 2,100. So gold futures are blowing up And then obviously gold spot price blowing up as well. If you're just showing up, gold spot is surging. The market's just opened like an hour, 2 hours ago, not that long ago. And basically, as soon as the markets opened, it was a rush to buy gold. And I mean, we're gonna see where it goes from here. Honestly, I could see it going either way. But looking at the poll, 47% are saying over $2,100 to end the year. So you guys are singing a different tune, because just a few days ago it was like, probably going to end the year around the 2000, in between 2000 and 2100. Now a lot of you are thinking it's going to go up higher. So this really doesn't surprise me. I mean, honestly, it's kind of like I don't know, not really a shot in the dark, because we kind of know that the reason it's going up now is probably going to continue to drive it higher. I mean, it's not like there is a new geopolitical issue going on right now that's driving gold up. I mean, obviously there are wars going on, etc., but it's not like something big happened in the news today, right? So, yeah, make sure you smash that thumbs up. Thank you everyone for showing up and watching the stream. Yeah, we're just looking at gold to to start off the week, because right when the market opened, it exploded. But yeah, it seems like the reason gold is going up right now. In fact, there is an article that just came out like an hour or 2 hours ago. Let's take a quick look at this. So, and by the way, this is FXS, FXstreet.com. I don't really know anything about this this website. I don't follow them, but I just noticed they had an article, so let's take a little look-see. Okay, so breaking, gold price surges to the all-time high above 2130 on weaker U.S. Fed rate cut bet. So, see what they have to say about this. Try and try and delete the ads if they pop up. So gold price climbs to an all-time high above 2100. Psychological round mark during the early Asian session on Monday. Speculation that the Federal Reserve has reached its peak of the rate hike cycle boosts yellow metal demand. So I don't know if you guys know about like the markets and when they open and stuff like that. Basically, the trading opens up over in Asia on Sunday night. So right now it's 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. But it's already Monday over there, right? So when the market opened, I mean, gold just popped and they're buying it up like crazy. This talks about the FedWatch tool. Markets are now pricing more than 50% odds of a rate cut first quarter of 2024. So let's move over to FedWatch tool. See what's going on over here. Now, I usually show this off in my videos whenever I'm talking about the price moves in gold and silver and all that kind of stuff. And this is just saying, where this, so it's the CME group. It's where they are predicting the rates will go at the next meeting. So the next meeting is in 10 days. It's on December 13th. You can see the current target rate, 525 to 550. So they're saying 97% chance that the next meeting it'll stay. I mean, there's a slight chance the rates will go up. Probably not, though. Move forward to January, 81% chance rates will be the same. 16% chance rates will go down, though. I mean, this is literally in January of next year that rate cuts can start. And why is this important? Why do we care about rate cuts? Because it makes the dollar weaker and pushes metals higher. I mean, once they start slashing rates, that's like, sayonara for the dollar. I mean, it's not going to go to zero or anything like that, but the dollar, has the potential to get significantly weaker. And so we see these price moves, before this stuff happens. It's the market's predicting what will happen in the future, right? So now we move to March, and they're saying 60%. This is the big one. I mean, this is basically why gold is going up today. This is new. This is all changed in the last week. 60% chance of a rate cut now in March. So it was for the last, I guess, few weeks or maybe last month. It's been May. They've been predicting that May will be the rate cut. Now they're saying it's March. So the rate cut keeps on inching up, sooner and sooner. I mean, 60% chance, that's like a really good chance that rates will start going down in March. Fast forward to May. They're saying, rates are still, I mean, it could be another rate cut at that point. I guess we could keep on moving. I mean, these all get funky once you get really far out in the future, like, 43% chance it'll be under 5. I mean, that's crazy. That's by summer, right? So if we look at the dollar right now, let's take a little look what the dollar is doing. Sitting at 103.25. Now, this is the dollar index. And the thing is, the dollar hasn't been really getting crushed like this week. It's actually pretty flat. So it's not like the dollar has gone down yet. It's just the market predicting the dollar will go down. Back up to a month. It's obviously down for the month. I mean, what was the high? About 10, call it 6 points. Now it's down 103.24. So, down about 2.75 points, I suppose, on the dollar index. So this is just the dollar, weighed against other currencies. And obviously, if the dollar goes down, metals go up. I mean, that's just basically a fact. And usually it's silver that that is directly, or I guess indirectly, correlated. I guess most people will say it's inversely correlated to the dollar. But the gold, for the most part, will go up when the dollar goes down. So the fact that they're making these predictions and saying now it's like literally March, we're going to get rate cuts, this is just causing gold to explode. So let's go back and take a look at what gold's doing right now. It's sitting at $2,105. Again, this is an all-time high for gold intraday. So not, ending the trading for the day, but just at any point in the day, where is gold at? It has never been over $2,500 ever, ever, ever. So it is blowing my mind. Let's take a look at the poll. Where are you guys at for gold at the end of the year? Looks like 48% are saying over 2,100. So again, a lot of you are saying that. Look, it's down to 19% are saying under 2,000 for the end of the year. So it's amazing how things have changed. Go ahead and vote in that poll if you like. It's the little blue thing in the chat. Click on it and then select where you think gold will be at the end of the year. Yeah, and like I was saying earlier, just I guess like 4 or 5 days ago, I put this same exact poll out, and the vast majority was 2,000 to 2,100. Now the majority is over 2,100 to end the year. And really, gold, if it continues to surge, because once it's in all-time high territory, it's already in all-time high territory. And what do you think is going to happen, like tomorrow? Do you think the mainstream media is going to cover this? I mean, yeah. You're probably going to see it on the big news networks, right? Whether you watch them or not, CNN, CNBC, Fox. I'm sure Fox will cover it. And once they start covering gold, all-time high, gold's blowing up, then more and more people start to pile on. So we haven't really seen the mainstream media talk about gold yet. So I don't know. I think it could go either way. I think this could be, sort of just early trading, gold kind of blowing up, right as the market's open, sort of a rush in to buy gold. It's going to settle down. We'll see where it ends up landing tomorrow. We'll see if when it goes, because I'm sure it will go back below 2,100. I mean, I don't know, but typically what happens, it sort of pops and then settles back down. I mean, I took a screenshot and I posted it on my Instagram right when the market's open, and it was at like 21.27 or something. It was insane, absolutely insane. So, yeah. Let's see. Let's go to the chat here. It's dipped $80 since spiking. Was up 55 already, dropped 30. Let's see. Could someone call the gold and silver miners, tell them the prices are rising? Yeah, there you go. I mean, I guess the miners are probably loving this, right? Because when the price goes up, it's like, hey, you can now sell your your gold or your silver for more. So this is really good for the miners. I mean, I'm expecting the miners probably to start doing some amazing things tomorrow. Um, we'll have to wait and see. You know, obviously, it looks like gold miners will probably do a little bit better than the silver miners. But look, here's the thing. I mean, usually gold leads the way, right? Gold goes up first, silver follows later, and we're not seeing silver follow like right now at all. So if we go back to silver, look at this. Silver's up, what, 12 cents? I mean, silver's basically like doing nothing. Silver is pretty much flat when gold makes this huge spike. So it's all about the gold right now. It's all about the gold. And, you know, again, once the general public starts buying in, it could be crazy. One little peek at the GSR, still going up. GSR is up. I'm kind of curious. Take a look at platinum and palladium. They are both up, but what a disappointment palladium has been. Huh? I mean, let's zoom out for palladium. You want to talk all-time highs. Palladium was up to, what was it? Around $3,000 an ounce. All right, and not that long ago. So palladium was crushing it. In fact, what was the highest it was this year? Yeah, $2,000. Right around $2,000 an ounce is the high for this year. Look at palladium just tanking. Absolutely tanking. Right? And, you know, palladium is one of those metals where, sure, it is a precious metal, but it's like, you know, come on. Palladium is, it's mostly used for industry, right? Catalytic converters, stuff like that. Same with platinum. Most of it's used for industry. So let's look at platinum for the year. Bouncing around quite a bit, but if we go to all time, I mean, the high for platinum was well over $2,000 an ounce. Now it's less than $1,000. So platinum, palladium, way off their all-time highs. Silver, way off of its all-time high, right around $50 an ounce. It's not going to show it on this chart, I don't think, but silver still is like half of its all-time high. Gold, as we've been talking about, is literally at an all-time high right now. So I think the thing to do is, if you don't have a position in metals yet, let's go back to the 1 month, and you're seeing gold pop off, and you're thinking to yourself, okay, you know, what should I do? Should I go, you know, should I go out and start buying some physical gold? Should I go out and start investing in the gold mining companies? You know, is now the time because it's taking off? It's going to keep going up, maybe. I mean, that's what everyone thinks, right? Once it's at an all-time high, they just think it's going to go up forever. I don't know. I mean, I don't think the play right now is gold. I don't think that's your best bet. So for me, if I didn't have a position in metals and I was seeing all this take place right now, personally, I would go in on the silver. I mean, most of you know I love silver, obviously. I mean, my channel is Silver Dragons. But it's like, it's kind of a no-brainer. And I've said this in a lot of videos recently. A lot of people who I've interviewed and talked to have said it. Gold's at an all-time high, literally right now. Silver, half of its all-time high. And we talked about this before. Gold leading the way, silver following. Silver doesn't really peak until after gold. We've seen this in 2011, 2016, whatever. Even with COVID, you know, gold hit its all-time high before silver really went up to $28. So with gold in August of 2020, I believe, in fact, we could just look at the chart. I think it was August of 2020 where it hit the previous all-time high. Yeah, August 3rd, I guess, of 2020. Yeah, so during COVID, you know, when COVID was a thing, gold went to an all-time high, and then silver didn't go to an all-time high, but it did do. They're trying to silence me. Sorry about the audio, guys. Where was I? Also, by the way, almost 500 people watching. Thank you so much for. Yeah, we're back. We're back. They're trying to silence me. It's YouTube. You think it's YouTube? I mean, I don't even know why it does this. Literally, I'm talking, and then it just cuts out. And I don't know if it's YouTube or my equipment here or something, but it's like once we start talking about the important stuff, right, surrounding silver, surrounding gold, what's actually going on, it's strange. It's strange to say the least. But anyway, we almost had 500 people in the chat. Smash that thumbs up. We're looking at gold in new territory. We've never seen $2,100 gold intraday, and right now it's over $2,100. So, yeah, repeat the last 3 minutes of talking. Yeah, no, basically we were just talking about how usually gold goes up first and then silver follows. And, looking at the 3-month chart, year chart, all time, it appears more that gold has like the steady pace and silver is just obviously more volatile, which we can go back and look at that. So if we go to all, like look at this rally here from 2001 to 2011, gold just slowly climbs up, right? And, there's some little dips here and there, but for the most part, it's just real steady. Silver, similar, but a lot more volatility. I mean, silver went up to 20 and then went all the way down to like $9. So silver can do these big swings. And then when silver really moves, like when it started taking off, it went from $18 to $50 in like not that long of time, right? I mean, July of 2010 to April of 2011, so less than a year. I mean, they made that massive move. So I feel like, silver hasn't made its move yet. Gold, obviously, it's, gold's showing its strength today, certainly. Yankee rigged my audio, yeah. But it's exciting. It's exciting. I've never seen $2,100 gold. And another thing we should talk about, too, is the inflation adjusted all-time high for metals. So for gold, inflation adjusted all-time high is like $3,300. For silver, it's over 100, but I'm not exactly sure. Like if you go back to 1980 when the Hunt brothers were buying up all the silver and then they were forced to stop buying silver. They literally weren't allowed to buy anymore so that the price would fall and keep the markets from crashing. What was the height for silver then? So let's see. Maybe I can look up inflation adjusted. I don't think you can do it here on this chart. You can overlay the dollar, which is kind of cool to see the dollar going down as metals go up. See with silver, it's like almost the exact opposite. But let me go ahead and I'm going to turn this off for a second. There we go. So I can actually look up silver inflation adjusted. You can put it in the chat if you already know it, but let's see. Silver all-time high. Because back in the 80s, I mean, obviously, if you adjust for inflation, it's going to be a lot higher than in 2011 when it hit $50. The chat seemed like $190. Wow, that's insane. I mean, if you think about that compared to what it's at now, inflation adjusted, silver inflation adjusted all-time high graph. I'm not sure where to find the graphs. Let's see here. Inflation is killing silver. This article is hilarious. Okay, I do have one article here that looks like it maybe has inflation adjusted going back to the 80s. Okay, so let me show you this chart here. So this is FX Empire. You just keep going back to their website. This is saying back in the 80s, silver went up to like $130. But this article is older. No, we don't care about that. When did this come out? 2022. So, okay, either way, let's say silver was 130, 190, whatever. Silver's way off that. I mean, way off that. Right? So if we go back, get rid of that. Take a look at silver again. Let's say inflation adjusted, it's let's just call it 150, kind of split the difference. I mean, we're so far off of that, it's not even close. I mean, it's like we're a sixth of that, I guess, right? Like literally a sixth. And then like this would have to go up 6x to hit the inflation adjusted. For gold to hit its inflation adjusted, it only needs to go up 50%, you know? Like to go from 2100 to 3300, it's not that crazy. I mean, it would be a crazy jump up, don't get me wrong, if we saw that happen, but it's like it seems a lot more like gold is priced right, I guess, and silver seems like it's priced wrong, which again is why I'm like, okay, if you don't have a position in metals, or if you have a small position, maybe you just started stacking, you're not really sure, you know, if this is for you or whatever, maybe silver seems like a better bet. I mean, just to me, like, obviously this isn't financial advice, but looking at the two, it's like basically a no-brainer. And then again, the gold silver ratio, which we've been talking about, it's in the 80s. It's at 81. So like my strategy all along has been, if it's over 80, you buy silver. So basically everything is screaming, you know, buy silver, go for silver, go for silver. Silver's undervalued, especially compared to gold. Why hasn't silver moved yet? Like, what is silver waiting for? And I think, you know, we get the confirmation with gold. If it can close above the 2100, I mean, really, if gold could go, you know, 2100 tomorrow and then stay above that level, you know, through the end of the year, then I think we could really see a big move in silver. What's up, chat? Backwoods Stackers here. Metally Corrupted is here. What's up? Good to see you all. Make sure you vote in that poll. We have 351 votes in the poll now. 50% of you are saying gold's going to end the year over $2,100. Don't use logarithmic scale, says Jax. Says Jack Stacks. Okay. Stocks I bought tanked worth pennies. Let's see what else the chat's saying. Right now, dealers are paying less for your gold because of record spot price. For me, they're paying $50 under spot, where before it was on spot. Wow. Okay, so Ryan R is bringing up something really interesting, and I'm kind of curious, like the rest of the chat, let us know down below in the comments section, what is your local coin shop buying gold for right now? Are you buying it at spot, back of spot? I wish we could get someone from Harry's Coin Shop on the phone. Let me text Adrian and see if he'd be willing to do a phone call. Let's see. Can you take a phone call to talk about gold buying at the coin shop right now? I'm live. Okay, let's see what Adrian says. Because that's kind of messed up. If your coin shop is not even paying you spot for your gold, and they typically pay you spot for your gold, like, I get it if it's gold bars. I mean, a lot of coin shops buy gold bars for less than they will gold coins. So, but the other thing too is, like, are you selling right now? Like, I mean, sure, gold's at an all-time high. It doesn't seem like the worst time to sell. But you know, gold and silver are typically not one of those things where you want to like get in and get out real quick. Typically, it's a long-term play. I mean, this is a long-term store of wealth. It's like you buy it and then, you know, why are you selling it a year later for like $100 profit, right? I mean, that just seems like insane, because the reason you bought it to begin with, you know, I would think, is to protect yourself from inflation. Inflation is not fixed yet. We still have inflation. You know, could it get worse? Sure. I mean, but could it improve? Well, I suppose it could. Yeah, I could text Harry too. Let's see what other people are saying in the chat. Okay, this is Michael. This is proof that they're manipulating silver because silver should be following gold. It's not. They're keeping silver low. Well, the other thing too is, like, there's some debate, right? Like, are we going into a recession? Are we not? If we are going into recession, then it kind of makes sense why silver is still low, because silver doesn't do as well in a recession. You know, like silver. See if I can minimize that. Oh, I don't want to close the poll. Just trying to minimize it. for me. What was I saying? Oh, because yeah, like in a recession, obviously most of the silver that's mined all goes to industry. So if the industry doesn't need as much silver, then the price would tend to fall. You'd think, right? So if we go into recession, then it's like, could gold, really shine and silver kind of be so-so? I suppose that could be the case, but yeah, I mean, manipulation too. You can't rule that out. Obviously, it's been proven silver and gold have both been manipulated. I mean, all the metals, right? Platinum, palladium, as far as like trading is concerned. We look at JP Morgan. I think they had 2 guys that were sent to jail this year from when they were doing the spoofing back, whatever, 5-10 years ago. And those guys that were spoofing metals, they were doing it with all of them. It was silver, gold, platinum, palladium, everything. So, and when the paper market determines the spot price for physical metals, how could you not say it's manipulated? But back to dealers paying under spot for gold. Daydreamer never bothered to ask them recently. Harry would know. I know. Adrian said he's sick, but he would be willing to take a call. Okay. Let's see. He might be a little stuffy. Let's see. Can I call you now and put it on speaker? See what he says. But yeah, I'm really curious, like what Harry's Coin Shop is doing, just to kind of see where they're at compared to the other coin shops out there. Randy says they're paying 90% of spot in my area. That's insane. That's like really insane. For gold, to be paying not even spot. I mean, that's ridiculous because for the longest time, ever since I've been stacking, like all the coin shops around me, with a few exceptions, they basically always pay at spot or maybe a hair back for gold bars. But for gold coins, it's always been over. All right, Adrian said he's cool with the phone call, so let's call him real quick. And he said he's a little sick, so you'll have to forgive him. But I'm just going to call him on my phone here, and we'll put it on speaker. And we'll ask him about,
Hello.
Hey, what's up, Adrian?
Yes.
Hey, what's up, man? So I'm live right now. I got you on speaker. So have you been seeing what gold's doing?
Yes. About an hour ago or so, Harry and I were talking, and he's like, "Hey, take a look at gold," and saw about like 21, 25 at the time. So it's pretty crazy. Crazy to see it over 2100.
Yeah, so gold over 2100, literally new territory. We've never seen this before for intraday pricing. I mean, to see a 2 and then a 1 for gold is insane. Literally blowing my mind. But a lot of people in the chat are saying that their coin shops are buying gold back of spot, which has not been the norm. So I wanted to get your take on this because I know, like for gold bars, typically is like lower than gold coins, but some people are saying like their coin shops are literally paying 90% of spot for gold right now. So can you talk about what you guys are doing or what you think is fair right now?
Yeah. So I think a lot of dealers, what they're doing is they're trying to protect themselves from for a correction in gold, which is pretty imminent for it to happen. So a lot of shops are doing that. Ourselves, we're buying pretty much at spot. On World Gold, we usually tend to buy a little back of spot. It's just what the trends in the market are. But as far as like Eagles and Buffaloes, we're at spot at the moment.
Okay, so but like with World Gold, you guys, I mean, well, not just you guys, but like a lot of dealers usually buy that back from spot anyway, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, so like if people have like sovereigns or like 20 francs, it'll be close to spot but a little bit under, right?
Correct.
Okay. And then so like for gold bars, are those a little bit back from spot right now for you guys too?
Yeah, it's about $10 back.
Okay. So well yeah, so I mean that's a lot different than 90%. I mean cuz people were saying that, like they're getting less than $2,000 for their gold right now at their coin shops. That they're getting ripped off. The dealers are ripping them off. But you guys are, I mean, you're $10 off from spot on on bars, and then coins. You said you guys are basically at spot right now.
At spot for American gold, and I mean these things can change day to day, sometimes by the hour, just depending on what the premiums are doing with wholesale, and how much inventory shops get. So it's nothing that's set in concrete, but we expect for these things to change.
Yeah. And if people are just showing up, we're looking at gold. We're in new territory, over $2,100. Never seen this before. I'm talking to Adrian over at Harry's Coin Shop about buying gold and stuff like that. But Adrian, can we just get your take real quick on should people even be selling their gold? I mean, sure, it's at an all-time high, but could it go higher? What do you think?
So with this question, it's a little hard to answer at times. If you're somebody that's held on to gold and you bought at a high point and it dropped, and now you're barely able to get out, you're above water now, and you're gonna look to sell, then now's a good time for you to sell. But if you're looking for the long run, then I would say keep your metals.
Yeah. And you think if people are wanting to get into metals right now, start stacking, if they had to pick between gold or silver, I mean, I obviously am suggesting silver. Is that kind of what you think is a better buy right now too?
I would say so, just with the historic prices. I mean, we're at past an all-time high of gold, and with silver, it's a little tough to say, but usually what the market says, it's gold leads and silver follows.
Yeah.
So I'd say silver is a good move, but also for wealth preservation, gold's also another great option.
Yeah. Yeah, I like them both. Especially with all the currency that's been created, over the last few years, ever since COVID, when stuff started getting crazy. Yeah, I like.
Yeah, well, that's really what shook up the market.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. One last thing before I let you go, I'm doing a poll right now. 51% of people are saying in this poll, we have almost 500 votes, that they think gold is going to end the year above $2,100. If you had to guess, what do you think? Above or below 2,100?
You know what? It's tough to say. If you would have asked me this on Friday, I would have probably said under. But just with the move that I'm seeing today, I mean, it's tough to say, honestly. I wish I knew what the answer was. But it's just a hard one.
Yeah.
I want to be optimistic. I'll say above.
Okay, well, there you go. Adrian's saying above. Well, you're with the majority because 51% are saying above. So, but
Yeah.
all right. Hey, thanks so much for taking my call, man. Hope you get feeling better.
Oh, of course. Yeah, and thanks to all the Silver Dragon subscribers, and see you guys on the next video, and keep stacking.
Yep. All right. Thanks, Adrian.
Thank you very much.
Yep.
Have a good night.
Yep. Peace. So there you go. So over at Harry's Coin Shop, they are buying a lot of gold at spot. Some of it slightly under. They said gold bars like $10 under spot. Excuse me. Get another drink of water here. So it sounds like, at least here, things aren't that crazy. I mean, I guess some people are saying that they, their coin shops are not really buying them back for what they have been, which is really unfortunate. It's kind of sad to hear that. Metally Corrupted said Utah is less than spot, only close to spot for Eagles and Maples. Wow, so not even spot for Eagles. That's crazy. If you haven't done so, smash that thumbs up. Gold, new all-time high today. It's pretty crazy. It might go below 2,100 while we're live. There it is, literally as I said it. So $2,099.94. But for a while there, it was above 2,100. And I did, excuse me, I did post a screenshot of the highest I saw, which was 2,127. So absolutely insane. I mean, we'll see where it goes tomorrow. But if it continues this trend, let's actually move over to the 1 week. Look at what it's been doing for the last week. It's just up, up, up. So if it continues this trend, I mean, we could see some crazy numbers by the end of the year. And then if silver does decide to try and catch up, we could see silver move really, really fast. Obviously, right now it's like flat for the day. I mean, the markets haven't even opened over here. I'm so curious what's going to happen, like between now and the morning. Like I'm gonna go to bed, say okay, we'll see what happens. I mean, it could be down in the morning. Like literally, we could wake up and gold and silver are both down. I mean, I've seen crazier things. All right, back to the chat here. Let's see here. I'm not selling. I buy gold because cash rots over time. Very nice. Yeah, cash over time is not good to hold. Okay. Let's see. You buy silver and gold to trade when the banks freeze your money. There you go. That's another reason why you don't keep your silver and gold at the bank. Like some people, they've got a security deposit box, and if the bank goes on holiday, they won't let you come in and get your metals. So that's why I don't recommend storing anything at the bank. All right, don't sell, stay in the game. There you go. I agree. Hold. Inflation has not been beaten. They were saying, it's 2% inflation target. Then they said, okay, now it's a 2% inflation goal. And now it's looking like it's going to settle around like 3% or something, right? So they lost to inflation. And, obviously they're going to keep on creating more currency, and we're going to go through all this again. I mean, COVID was kind of, it was special, right? COVID was something we'd never really seen before. Like that much currency creation. It was ridiculous. So I don't know if we're going to get that level again. But it certainly is possible, especially depending on who's elected next year. In 2024, it's a big year. And I did just post a video a few days ago talking about will the elections affect precious metals prices. And for gold, 5 out of the last 6 election years, gold has gone up. And the last one, it was a big jump up. For silver, 4 out of the last 6 election years, we've seen silver go up from the start of the year to the end of the year. So is the election going to affect precious metals prices? Probably. I mean, they're probably going to go up. I mean, it causes a lot of uncertainty. That coupled with everything else, I mean, it could be a pretty insane year. SGT, thank you so much. 27-month member. Appreciate you, brother. Let's see. Hoping to give mine to my boy when I die. That's a great reason to stack for inheritance. I would love to give my metals to my kids when I die for sure. Okay, let's see. I'll trade silver when the ratio goes down. Yep. Yeah, ratio's still too high. Someone said they saw 21.55 for gold. That's crazy. I mean, are you looking at the futures? Futures right now are at 21.14. Let's see the highest. Let's see if we go to 1 day what the peak was for futures. Yeah, I don't know to see where it peaked. I mean, we're basically around the peak. Right now 21.55 is kind of crazy. I wonder what website you were looking at to see gold be that high. Okay, $27 silver by Christmas, $35 by Valentine's from Rick. Wow. Yeah, I mean, if they do the rate cuts as predicted, we were showing this before. Let's see, we're 45 minutes into the stream now, but the predictions have all changed. Now they're looking at March, 60% chance of a rate drop. So yeah, I mean, if that does happen, we really could see some crazy numbers for silver, because the markets are going to move before the rate cut happens, right? They're always predicting what's going to happen, and they want to be ahead of it. So the market is not going to move on March 20. The market's going to move before that. And these percentages will all change, obviously, between now and then. So January, they still think rates will be the same. But, 16% chance of a rate cut in January. If this goes up, I think probably the biggest thing that's going to change all these numbers is going to be the December meeting. So, obviously, when Jerome Powell speaks, is he dovish, hawkish? That's going to have a really big impact on all of these. So in 10 days is the next meeting. So, could we see a big price movement in gold and silver in 10 days from now? Absolutely. I mean, I'm expecting it. But then the other thing will be when inflation numbers come out for November. That'll be probably a big price move on that day too. So there's a lot of potential for some more big upswings in gold and silver. But these rate cuts, man, I mean, you know, when rates go down like 1%, gold goes up like big historically. I think it's like 10-15% or something, if you look at the last like 30 years. So, you know, I'm expecting big moves for precious metals. It was crazy to see gold above 2,100. It's now dipped below $2,100 for the spot price in gold. But still numbers we've never seen before. I mean, literally, I was watching, what was I watching? I think it was the Eagles 49ers game or something. And I was like, oh, the market's opening for precious metals. Let me check my phone. And then I checked my phone, and it's like, oh my gosh, gold was at 21.27. All right, so Kitco high was 21.35. Okay, there you go. Let's see, Tiger Stacker's in the chat. I'm happy I bought gold in 2021 at $1,700 to $1,800. Nice. Yeah, the cheapest I bought gold, I want to say, well, we can look at the chart here. Let's go to all. So I started stacking in 2018. So I don't think I ever got gold under 1,200. Maybe I did. I'll have to go back to my older videos, because like my first gold I ever bought, I think, was actually in 2019, but I did get it under spot. And so I think the cheapest I've ever bought gold was right around $1,200. So to see it where it's at today, I mean, feels really good. For the people that bought during COVID when it was over 2,000, to see it getting back to these levels has to feel really good. And like Adrian was saying earlier, if people want to cash out, you know, now it's not the worst time. Like, it's probably better just to hold, but if you do need to exit, maybe you need the money for whatever reason. I don't know. You're buying a house. Obviously, rates are still crazy for buying a home. You need a down payment, what have you. You know, there are worse times to cash out. But like with silver, there's no way I would cash out right now with where silver's at. I mean, $25 is just like we saw $28 in 2020. We're still down from that. So I would say for me, gold is my personal strategy right now. I guess I can talk about that. So for gold, my strategy is just to hold it right now. Like, I don't really want to be buying a lot of gold at these prices. I think you could do worse things with your money. But I just don't really foresee a lot of gold purchases through the end of the year. For me personally. Now for silver, I'm still like buy, because I think we're going to look back on $25 silver and be like, okay, well, that was a good deal. Maybe I should have bought more. So for silver, I'm still a buy and a hold. So I don't think I'm, you know, ready to sell either metal. I think at some point, if the gold silver ratio does get low enough, you know, if silver really takes off, then I maybe would sell some gold. Sell silver and buy some gold. But right now, with it in the 80s, it's, you know, it needs to be really drastic for me to want to do anything. You know, it's got to get below like 60 for me to really want to sell my silver to buy gold. I mean, ultimately, it'd be great if it got down to like, you know, 50 or 40 or like 30 would be crazy. Then it's like, sell all your silver, right? Because silver is now becoming overvalued or more appropriately valued as compared to gold, you know, if the ratio drops that low. But so yeah, for gold, I'm just holding. Let's see. Let's go back to the chat here. Hide mine in the fridge. Nice. It's crazy that a monster box of silver is used in a Tomahawk cruise missile. Oh, interesting. So 500 ounces of silver. Wow. Yeah, I was reading something about how much silver is used like in the military and how they don't really talk about it. I forget what the article was, but I was reading it earlier today, and it was essentially saying that the military uses an insane amount of silver, and yet the government still hasn't labeled silver as a strategic metal. Like, there's all these other metals that are considered strategic, you know, zinc, lead, nickel, copper, whatever. It's like every metal. But then no silver and no gold either. They're like, oh yeah, that's not strategic. It's like, yeah, but if you're using this much silver, for military applications, why is it not strategic? It doesn't make sense. It's almost like they're on purpose not saying it because, I don't know, they think the price will spike up maybe, and then they can't afford, or it'll be more expensive to buy more of it. I don't know. All right. Let's see. Let's get back to the chat here. A lot of people chatting. Thank you for all of your comments. Thank you all for hanging out with me on a Sunday night. Over 500 people in the chat. Make sure you smash that thumbs up. Gold hit an all-time high. Tonight, we literally broke the record. We've never seen $2,100 gold before. And tonight, it went to 2124, was the highest on SD Bullion's website. So, I mean, and actually, look at how fast it did it, right? So, market opens. So, this is what gold was sitting at, $2,073 on SD Bullion. And then when the market opened, so this is right at 6. So, in literally 20 minutes, oh my gosh. Like, how insane is that? In 20 minutes, and obviously the trade is just the Asian market, right? Trading over in Asia. The markets haven't opened here. But regardless, in 20 minutes, it went up, what is that, $50? Literally $51 in 20 minutes. I'm telling you, I looked at my phone and I was like, oh, markets are opening. All right, something will happen. Maybe gold will go up a few bucks, who knows? But I mean, a $50 jump up, I mean, that in itself is also unheard of. I cannot think of the last time I've seen gold move $50, especially in 20 minutes. I mean, whoa. We're setting up for something crazy here. So obviously there was a big pop rush in to buy gold, and then it settled down. There's obviously, this is like all profit taking, right? So it goes down quite a bit. And now it's moving back up again here. So just in the last, I guess, since we started streaming or whatever in the last hour. But still absolutely crazy. Let's go back to the 1 week chart here for gold. And then moving back to the chat here. Let's see. Spot reached 2148. Futures 2152. Oh, so the high for futures was 2152. Interesting. Yeah, futures is always like, a little bit ahead of spot. I guess kind of obviously, but yeah, we have seen in the past like gold futures and gold spot sort of decouple. This happened, I guess it was more drastic with silver maybe, but during COVID, with all the price craziness, it got pretty drastic because usually like futures and spot are like kind of close, but yeah, like. It's something certainly to pay attention to, because if you see futures spiking up, it's like, all right, spot's probably going to spike up. Like, they basically go hand in hand, but futures is always going to be ahead of spot for the most part. I guess I can't really think of a situation where that wouldn't be the case unless there was like crazy selling or something going on like for a very short period of time. Okay. Let's see. Too late if you haven't gotten on the gold train before now. Yeah, I don't know that it's too late. I think when it comes to investing in metals, for most of us, this is such a long-term thing that it's like, okay, did you miss the boat? Like $2,100 gold. Did you miss the boat? I mean, think about it. If we go back in time, like let's go way back in time, like to 2000 when gold was like $272. Gold goes up to 400. I mean, that's a huge jump, right? From like 250 to 400 in just a couple of years. It's like, did you miss the boat? How many of you would like to buy $400 gold right now? Literally 1 ounce gold, American Gold Eagles for $400. That'd be great. So like, did you miss the boat? I guess not. That would be pretty cool to have a time machine. So at some point, will we look back on $2,100 gold and say, wow, that was a good buy? Yeah, absolutely, at some point. But we don't know how far in the future that's going to be. Is that going to be 10 years, 50 years in the future? obviously the dollar is going to inflate. Dollars are always going to inflate. They keep on creating more currency, and for very few exceptions, with the heavy printing and expansion of the currency supply, we're going to see more inflation. It's not going to stop, especially with all of these different things that the government wants to do that cost money. Like, you just got to print more currency, and when you look at the debt getting so out of control, it's like, that's never going to be corrected. So yeah, did you miss the train on gold at 2100? I don't know. I mean, I was just talking about it a little bit ago. The cheapest I ever bought gold was like around $1,200. And I feel pretty good about that. The cheapest I ever bought silver, by the way, when we look at these, I'm trying to see the dips. I don't know if we can really see the good, like right here is pretty good dip. I think it went down to like 12. The cheapest I ever bought physical silver for was like around 14, maybe $13. I mean, sometimes you get like under spot deals or whatever, especially if you're buying private party, which again is like if you're buying gold private party and you got a good way to test it and you know what you're doing, could you still get gold like under $2,000 right now? I suppose maybe if you're like really savvy. Can everyone do that? No. I mean, and obviously if you're new to gold and you're trying to not miss the train, not miss the boat, you don't want to be going around buying gold private party. Like, I highly recommend go to a legitimate, trusted local coin shop. That's like the best place to buy. If you don't have a local coin shop, then obviously you can look online. And I like SD Bullion, Christian-based company, really fair pricing. But be that as it may, honestly, I don't know that you necessarily miss the boat. If you're like a trade, like if you want to trade gold quickly, and should you have, I guess, bought gold last week, then I don't know. To me, it's weird to think about in those terms, because when I think about buying gold, I'm not really thinking about like the dollar amount per se, right? Like, it's this whole idea of you measure your wealth in ounces, not in dollars. Like, why are you measuring your wealth in dollars to begin with? Right? Because if you really think about it, dollars, like the US dollar currency, this is a man-made idea, right? Currency was created by man. And it's just a concept that we all agree on for now or whatever. But to measure your wealth in something that's temporary, it's only been around for, a few hundred years or whatever. Oh, excuse me. Kind of seems insane. Like, you go back thousands and thousands of years, you've got gold and silver. Gold and silver were money. They always have been money. So why would you not measure your wealth in like literally what money is? So thinking about the price of gold, price of silver seems a little strange. It's like, oh, how much wealth do I have? Well, how many ounces do I have? Right? Do you have 10 ounces of gold, 100 ounces of gold? What about silver? How much silver do you have? Do you have 10 ounces of silver, 100 ounces of silver, 1,000 ounces of silver, 10,000 ounces of silver? Like, how much money do you have, right? So, yeah, again, like, did you miss the boat? I don't know. I don't really think so. I think that when we look back on these prices in 10 years from now, like right now it's an all-time high, but like look at all the other all-time highs, right? Oh, like gold was at $600. That was the all-time high. Gold was at $900. That was the all-time high. Gold was at $1,800. That was the all-time high. Like when I first started buying gold, the all-time high was $1,800. We'd never seen higher than that for that nominal pricing. Never seen it when I first started buying. And today we saw 2,100. So yeah, it's just, to me, it's crazy to think about it that way. All right, so going back to the chat, we do have a question from Tiger Stacker SD. So if cash is needed, then cash out gold. Yeah, so here's the thing. In fact, in my last video, I was talking to Ben, the Coin Geek, down in Arizona. Had a great trip down there. And he was saying that, cash is like a necessary evil, but it's like a tool, right? You should use cash as a tool. like cash is not one of those things for me anyway that I like to just hold on to for any long period of time. But like, yeah, obviously if you need to buy a house and you have gold, then yeah, you move your gold into cash, you put the money into the house or whatever, like physical assets, things. You don't just sit in cash. Like I don't really know. I mean, even if you talk to like, financial advisors and like the big investing, guys and whatever, they don't typically like just sitting on cash either, right? You got to be doing something with it. Um, but yeah, like with inflation, cash just, it scares me. Let's see. I can't afford silver anymore. That's really interesting. So, Mino64 in the chat says, I can't afford silver. Well, if we take a look at the price of silver, it's sitting at $25.67. And, that's not crazy. That's not crazy. When I first started buying silver, I've told this story like 100 times, but I was literally recycling cans and using that money to go and buy 1 ounce of silver at a time. So don't tell me you can't afford silver. Anyone can afford silver. Literally, you could be homeless and still be able to afford silver. I mean, sure, spots at 25 to buy an actual physical ounce, you're probably looking at $27, $28 or something like that down at the coin shop, but anyone can afford that. And it's not like you need to buy 10 ounces at a time. You walk into your coin shop, you buy 1 ounce. That's what I was doing. My first 20 ounces of silver was like 1 ounce at a time. So anyone can afford silver. Gold, on the other hand, you're going to have to save up for. I mean, there's just no way around it. I didn't even buy any gold for like my first, I want to say 8 months or a year of stacking. It was literally only silver. I didn't even look at gold. I was like, gold, not happening. So I get it. To a lot of people, $2,100 seems crazy. Like, how could I afford that? Yes, I totally understand that. But you start with silver, and then, at one point I looked at my silver stack. I was like, I got 60 ounces of silver. And back then the GSR, well, let's see what it was. Let's see, 2018. Yeah, so like 85. So about where it's at now, like 82. So yeah, 60 ounces of silver. I was like, that's like 3/4 of an ounce of gold, right? So you just start stacking silver, you keep at it. Eventually, you got 80 ounces, 100 ounces of silver. You want to trade that for an ounce of gold? Sure, you could totally do that. I mean, people do that all the time. But, all right, let's go back to the chat here. In fact, I think, let's keep the poll going, but I will start, let's do a Q&A. You guys want to do a Q&A? Ask questions here. If you guys want to ask me any questions, go ahead and click the Q&A. So it's the blue. It should be like right above or below the poll. Silver Dragons Q&A. Ask questions here. Go ahead and click on that. Type in your questions. I'll do my best to try and answer them here on the stream. We've only been going for like an hour, so tonight is a momentous night. Never seen $2,100 gold. We saw it tonight. So, I mean, I don't know how long we're gonna go for, but we'll definitely go for a bit more. All right. Move back to the regular chat here. See if I miss anything. I'm kind of having a hard time navigating this, but okay, let's go. So we got. Is the wheel rigged? Yeah, no, I don't do the wheel on my stream. You're gonna have to ask Yankee about that. Honestly, it's not rigged, but it is funny to say that it's rigged, and it's a joke, but it is funny. Okay, when's the next auction? Yeah, I haven't done auctions in a long time. I don't know. That's a great question though. Yeah, probably not this year. I mean, we got Christmas right around the corner. Probably sometime next year. Okay, let's see. Should I save money or keep buying silver? Interesting. That's a really interesting question, because literally my idea of saving money is buying silver. So it's like, should I save money or should I save money? You see where I'm going with that. So should you save money or should you buy silver? I think you should do both at the same time. You should save money by purchasing silver. um, that's what I've been doing for the last 5 years, and I've saved more money than I ever thought was possible. Like, way more money than I ever thought was possible. Okay. Adrian Gomez, what up? Beach City Coins. By the way, thanks for being on the stream earlier. He says, what are you stacking personally, silver or gold? Right now I'm stacking silver. In fact, I got some, I'm not really set up to show it off tonight, but I do have some ounces. I got some more ounces of silver. And it's pretty substantial. So yeah, no, I'm stacking silver right now with gold at an all-time high. It's like, I'm looking at it, I see it, but I haven't purchased gold in a little bit, and I don't know if I'm going to purchase any more through the end of the year, but more silver through the end of the year? Absolutely. Okay, Zachary, another question. What's your favorite 1 ounce silver or gold coin to stack? Nice. So for coins, oh man, it's a tough question. I like the Eagles. I like the gold Eagles. I love the silver Eagles. In fact, probably the biggest portion of my personal silver stack is actually silver Eagles. And like not like for overall weight, but like if I had to pick one thing that I have the most of, it's definitely Eagles. And then for gold, I think it's the same. I have more gold Eagles than any other individual thing. And so yeah, I really like the US Mint stuff. I think the designs got worse when they updated them, but actually I do like the new Gold Eagle design. So just the silver design got worse. But yeah, I'd have to say probably Eagles, especially with the premiums coming down. They're still a little bit high. So maybe right now, if you're going with silver, depending on where you're getting your silver Eagles at, the premium still might be a little too high. So maybe go generics. Don't even buy coins at all. That's probably the better bet, honestly. Okay, am I getting the gold Napoleon coin from Dave? I think I might have to buy one. I just said I don't know if I'm going to buy any more gold for the end of the year, but it's like the Napoleon, it's a series of 12, right? I mean, this is the first of 12. So when it comes to series, which one should you buy? You buy the first one. Whether it's silver coins, gold coins, whatever. If they're doing a long series over multiple years by a huge mint, one of the biggest mints in the world, which one is going to be the most collectible? It's not the second, it's not the third, it's not the 10th. It's always the first. Always. Look at every other series that's ever come out. Marvel, Star Wars, whatever. The Spider-Man, prime example. Worth way more money than all the other Marvel silver coins. So, if you're wanting to pick something out of the Commander series, you probably should go Napoleon. I might have to buy one. I might have to do it. Okay. What's the lowest GSR you've ever seen? I think it was probably this little dip here, which was, I think, during COVID, but it was down in like the 60s. And here's the thing. SGT Stacking was asking about this. It didn't get below 60. And for me, if it's in between 60 and 80 for the gold silver ratio, which I've said many times before, I like to buy silver and gold, right? So at 65, it's like you're still buying gold, you're still buying silver. Nothing really changes that much. If it went below 60, then I think I probably would have started selling my silver. And I know a few YouTubers that actually did. Silver Bean Counter, I don't know if he's here in the chat. Sometimes he watches my stuff. Shout out to Silver Bean Counter. He's an awesome dude. Really smart guy too. He sold not a bunch, but a good amount of silver at this GSR 65 to buy gold. And I was maybe a little bit jealous. I was like, oh, that's cool. That's pretty cool. So yeah, no, I'm still waiting for it to get below 60. Okay. And then Grumpy Old Man asked what it is right now. This is the gold silver ratio right now, 81.79. So over 82. So still for me, silver's a buy. If you're just looking at the ratio, nothing else, silver is a buy. Would you ever buy platinum over gold? For me personally, I don't love the precious metals that are not monetary metals, right? So when we talk about monetary metals, we talk about metals that have been used as money throughout history. So gold and silver, Boom. Those are the two. Is copper a monetary metal? Sure, it was used as money, but it's not a precious metal, right? So when we look at precious metals that are also monetary metals, those are the ones that I like. Those are the ones that have stood the test of time, that I think, they literally are money. And so for me, when it comes to stacking, I like gold, I like silver. Platinum I don't like as much. I'm not going to buy platinum over gold. Do I own platinum? Sure, I own a little bit, just for fun. I own like a little over an ounce of platinum. It's nothing crazy. And I paid like, less than $1,000 for it. So I think platinum, could it spike up again? Obviously, if there's like a lot of demand for catalytic converters, right? Because that's like most of the demand for platinum comes from that. And I forget if it's the diesel cars or the gasoline cars that like platinum. One of them likes platinum, the other one likes palladium. But both platinum and palladium have just been absolutely tanking, over the last 10 years. Well, palladium over the last couple of years, really this year. And it's like, when we look into the future, do we see a lot more gasoline vehicles, a lot more diesel vehicles? It's like, probably. But why aren't the metals doing better? So, yeah, I guess the short answer is no, I'm not going to buy platinum over gold. Okay, how can I get my 401k into a precious metals IRA without using an outside vaulting company? Wow. I have literally no idea. So you're basically asking, how do you do the loophole, right? Because there's the whole, I get my self-directed IRA and then I start my own LLC, and that's like the company that's going to hold my gold for me. I really, I know of it. I definitely can't get into it live. I've never done it myself. In fact, I don't know anyone personally who's done it, but I know that there's something like that exists. But yeah, I guess the answer is I don't know. Okay, when will silver fall as platinum did in manufacturing? Right. So this is a really good question. If we do go into like a deep recession, really deep recession, then could we see silver fall as well? Yeah, but the other thing is, silver, there is a lot of bullion demand. In fact, the demand for bullion this year was higher than any other year. Or maybe it was 2022. But it did go up. It did go up a bit this year. But the problem for silver, at least for bullion demand, was that Germany started taxing it again. So over in Europe, I think Germany is like the biggest buyer of silver bullion. Like they stack more than the other countries. I think the UK is like a close second, but I could be wrong on this. I'd have to double check. But Germany was one of the biggest buyers of silver, and literally this year they started taxing it, right? The VAT tax on silver. And I believe it was at the start of the year. So Germans bought a lot less silver bullion than normal. But I still think for 2023, once the Silver Institute does all of the number crunching, which that won't come out till next year, I'm pretty sure 2023 is going to set a record for bullion demand as well. So even if we do go into a recession, are we going to see silver have this big dip? Maybe initially. I mean, honestly, we could see a bit more of a dip in silver. But long term, I still think, silver can do amazing things. Okay. Let's see. Why are premiums high right now? Price gouging after Black Friday. Yeah, it's interesting. Like premiums do bounce around quite a bit. And, for me, I don't like ever buying. By the way, gold's now down to $2,095. So we're $5 under the 2,100. I don't know if we're going to go above it again tonight. We might. Might have to wait till tomorrow and see. But as far as premiums go, it's like, I don't know why people ever buy anything that's retail. If you're at a coin shop, and they say this is the price and you're looking at it and you want it, okay, that's fine. When you're buying stuff online, when it comes to any online dealer, I essentially never, ever pay retail. Never. Just because I don't think that's a good way to stack. I always go to the deals, buy the deals. So, if you don't like the premiums on one thing, like let's say you only buy Silver Eagles and you're like, oh, the premiums are crazy. Don't buy Eagles. Switch it up. Okay. Should collector coins be avoided altogether, or are they still good to have? Really good question. I think it depends on what you mean by collector coins, how high of a premium you're paying. I mean, there's so many different layers to that. Like, I do buy collector coins. I like ones that are also silver or also gold, um, especially silver. So you got to be careful with it. And the thing with collector coins is if you just want price exposure to like gold, for example, why are you buying collector coins? You really shouldn't be doing that. If you want to stack, if you want the bullion, you want the hedge against inflation, the insurance, whatever, don't buy collector coins because I mean, I know there's some arguments, oh, you know, the government won't take away collector coins, so they will take away bullion. That's complete BS. That's never going to happen. The government's never going to be able to take away any of your coins ever. Um, I don't buy into that argument at all. I think it's absolutely ridiculous. Um, so we're not even going to get into that. But in general, if you have collector coins and you need to offload them quickly, they're not liquid. They are harder to sell, much harder to sell, especially to recoup your premiums. You got to sell them. It's like a specialty thing, right? At an auction, on eBay. You got to find the right shop, whatever. You got to be really well connected to have buyers for these collectible coins. So for the vast majority of people, I say just kind of stay away from that stuff. Focus on the low premium bullion. That's your bread and butter. That's what's best for most people. Okay, let's see. Next question. How high do you see gold and silver going to? Do you mean in my lifetime or like this year, next year? Because short term, it's incredibly hard to predict where they're going to go. I don't know where it's going to be in the morning. I literally don't know. Gold could be under $2,000 tomorrow morning. I mean, it's an all-time high tonight, and then it gets crushed. I literally don't know. You know, where's it going to be at the end of the year? A lot of you have voted over 700 votes now. 51% say over $2,100. So, you know, but again, that's just, you know, people's idea or their thoughts on it. How high do I see it going? I guess maybe you mean like in this cycle, like in this bull run. I see it going much higher than it is now. I think as rates come down next year, like through the summer, we could really see it start taking off. I mean, again, it's an election year. Gold and silver usually go up during an election year, especially the last election. They did crazy things. So there's a lot of uncertainty. You know, people are on edge. There's wars going on. Rates are getting cut. I mean, we could be in like one of these magical cycles where everything lines up together. I mean, we're already in an all-time high right now for gold. But next year could be really magical. But I want to be realistic about my, you know, my guesses or expectations or forecasting predictions, whatever. So, you know, if I had to put a number on it, honestly, I'm at like probably $2,300 gold and like $33 silver. Honestly, like next year is kind of what I'm thinking, but again, I could be completely wrong. All right, let's see here. There's a lot of questions. Try and get through these a little bit quicker. Let's see. And some of these aren't even like really fully precious metals related, so I'm gonna kind of try and keep to those. Let's see. Have you been keeping track of copper price? No, I did look it up like a few weeks ago because I was curious. But not particularly. Tiger, Grogu was second, did better than Mandalorian is the first. All right. Way to find the exception to the rule there. He's talking about collectible coins in a series. Again, look at the Marvel, you know. Let's see. Can I avoid gold dragons? No, I'm basically already gold dragons based on this stream. Do I own platinum? Yes. Let's see. We got a question here from Michael. What do you think about buying gold sovereigns and the gold 20 franc coins right now? Do you think it's underrated? If you're going to hold on to them for a long period of time and you can get them for a good price, I think they're actually a great buy. I've always thought that. Like, I own gold sovereigns. I own gold 20 franc coins, I think from like 3 or 4 different countries. But, you know, again, you're looking at world gold. That's what this is. This is basically, I don't know if it's all 90%. Maybe some of the newer ones are different. But, you know, a lot of it's 90% gold. It's like, people think of it as like junk gold, right? Junk silver was 90%. Junk gold is 90%, whatever. It's not really junk, you know, it's just alloy. But you really got to think about your strategy, because if you are going to want to be selling in a relatively short period of time. We just talked with Adrian over at Harry's Coin Shop, and they go under spot for the world gold, like always. It's not like, oh, right now or, last week or whatever, like always under spot. And that's just what most coin shops do. So if you can buy it at spot, if you can buy it under spot, then, absolutely. But if you're paying like a premium for some 20 franc gold coin, I don't know why you're doing that. I mean, unless you're collecting them, some people do. Like there's the roosters from the Paris Mint, which are like really cool because the Paris Mint is one of the oldest like businesses or mints or whatever in the world. It's been around for so long. Someone put it in the chat how long it's been around. But like I know people collect that type of stuff, but yeah. Buying them right now, if the price is right, I think go for it. In general, I think go for it with that kind of stuff. If the price is wrong, if it's high premium, whatever, do not buy it. Okay, can you please explain what it looks like for a transition from fiat to digital? I'm a stacker myself, but want your opinion. Interesting. Excuse me. Okay, so you're saying when a country goes from, well, when you say fiat to digital, I mean, it's like digital is still fiat, right? I mean, so I guess I don't really understand the question. I think you mean going from physical currency, like bills. By the way, what's up, everyone in the chat? Thank you all so much for being here. I see a lot of new people, a lot of familiar faces as well. I think what you're actually asking is, what does it look like for a country to go from having physical currency, like $1 bills, $100 bills, to all digital? And we haven't really seen that happen before, except like China, right? So I guess China is kind of the poster child for moving from fiat to digital. And I don't think it's even through the whole country, but I think what it looks like is it looks scary, and it looks like you have a lot less privacy, and it looks like the government has much more control and much more, ability to, I guess, not let you buy certain things. I mean, for your currency to go digital is scary in general. Look at what happened in Canada with the truckers and the protests. It was like they literally didn't let people spend money in certain geographical areas, right? They like blocked everyone's accounts. And I think it was like all their accounts, right? It was like their bank account, but also like their PayPal and like Venmo or whatever, like kind of crazy stuff. So if you think about the government having full control over all your money, all your accounts, I say money, but all your currency, it looks terrifying. And I don't think that's going to happen like this year, next year. I think it'll take something crazy for that to happen, like another world war, and then that would happen after it, or maybe, during the later part of it or something like that. So I hope that answers your question. Do you think man-made gold from a laboratory will become efficient enough in our lifetime to affect spot price? That's a great question, Jack Stacks. I don't think so. Personally, look at the diamonds. Right, like when they started growing diamonds in the lab, and how much they're worth to like a real diamond. But honestly, I don't think they're really going to become efficient enough to grow a substantial amount of gold. And to be honest with you, I haven't really seen the experiments or seen like how much they're able to get. I think everything they do in a lab is essentially refining. So when you talk about man-made gold, I'm not really aware of how they're like manipulating the elements to create a different element. So it's a really good question, but I just don't have any information on that. So I'm going to say I don't think it'll affect it at all. Okay. Excuse me. I just saw Napoleon in theaters today. Very cool. I did not know that was already out, but I'll have to check that out. Was it a good movie? Did you like Napoleon? Okay, let's see. Question: is fractional gold okay if the premium is 0%? Eddie, absolutely. If you're getting fractional gold for a 0% premium, dude, that is epic. Like, that is epic, man. I wish I could get fractional gold for a 0% premium. So congrats to you, Eddie. I don't know where you're getting it. Maybe you can let us know your secret stash, but oh my gosh. Where's the hookup here? Fractional. So you're talking like quarter ounce, half ounce with no premium. I mean, how can you? All right, you don't have to tell us. I'm sure it's private party, but yeah, it's definitely okay. Any gold at 0% is okay. We got a question here. I live in Canada. Is it a good deal to swap 1 ounce of gold to get 72 ounces of silver in a local gold shop? Interesting. So basically, you're paying a premium for your silver. I would not be doing that right now, personally. If you have like all gold, like let's say you inherited a bunch of gold right now. So this is not me. And I don't really know anyone this is the case for, but let's just say hypothetically, there's someone out there who their dad, died and they got like 100 ounces of gold, and you're sitting on 100 ounces of gold right now and you have no silver. Should you trade some of your gold for silver? Probably. I mean, I think that's a pretty smart idea right now, just based on where gold's at, where silver's at. But when you factor in premiums, you're saying you're only getting 72 ounces of silver for 1 ounce of gold when the ratio is 81. So I'm not exactly sure, what the premium you're looking at on the trade-in would be. But what I would do is I would do the math. I would just say like, okay, if I sell you 1 ounce of gold today, what are you going to give me for cash? And then look at their cheapest silver option and say, how many of these can I buy with the cash, and see if it's the 72 ounce. And if it's like the same, then okay, sure. But maybe you could even get your silver cheaper somewhere else. So maybe it's better just to cash out and then buy silver somewhere else. I don't know. Okay, Anthony asks, where do you see silver and gold going in the next 4 months? I'm assuming 4 months. He just says 4, but it could be 4 minutes, 4 years. I see it going up. In the next 4 days, I have no idea. In the next 4 minutes, I have no idea. In the next 4 months, I think it'll be higher. In the next 4 years, I think it'll be a lot higher. Okay, another question here. What do you think is high premiums on silver bullion, silver coins, gold bullion, gold coins? Yeah, so typically when it comes to premium, Mike, the general rule of thumb is that for silver, you don't really want to go over 20%. Once you go over 20% on silver, you're kind of entering like mid premium, high premium type stuff. Obviously, like 100% is crazy. You would never want to do that for bullion. But yeah, so for silver is like 20, and gold, I think generally people like to keep it under like 8%. I think is kind of the magic number for gold bullion. So, okay, I think I got through all the questions there. So if you have any more questions, go ahead and put them in the chat. We're going to run through, if people are just showing up, over 500 people in the house. Thank you for hanging out on a Sunday night. I know it's getting late over on the East Coast. People got work tomorrow. But we're just going to run through everything that's going on today, because today is a very special day. So let's move to the one-day chart. So when the market opened, so silver was sitting at $2,073. The market opened. Silver jumped up over $50 in 20 minutes, bringing it to a new intraday all-time high. We've never seen $2,100 gold ever for a nominal gold price. So really special night tonight, really special day. Gold futures sitting at $2,111 right now. Let's see. What else were we looking at? FedWatch tool percentages have changed. They're now predicting 60% chance of a rate cut in March. So first quarter rate cut. This is obviously having a big impact on the metals. So part of the reason we're seeing gold go up today. And then the dollar. So for 1 month, it's down considerably, but really for the last 5 days, it's basically flat. So I think all of the big movements that we've been seeing in gold, especially, are the market sort of predicting what's going to happen, like later in the year, next year, later in the year this year, or earlier in the year next year. It's not necessarily the dollar getting crushed now, but what they think is going to happen over the next few months. So I think that's why we're seeing a lot of money flow into precious metals, and why it went so high when it first popped off tonight, which was crazy to see. I mean, it was literally crazy for me to live through this moment. I mean, $50 gold jump in 20 minutes. Have we ever seen that? I mean, like, it's blowing my mind, honestly. $50 gold jump in 20 minutes. You know, if the markets were opened over the weekend, obviously this wouldn't happen because everyone was sort of waiting, you know, and then once the bell rang and the Asian market opened, they all started buying like crazy, and then everyone was like, oh, profit taking, profit taking, profit taking. So, not everyone, but a lot of people. Okay, we got a few more questions here. Let's see. Do you know any good coin shops in Houston? You know, I don't. I have not been to Houston in probably over 20 years. But what I would say is, if anyone in the chat knows a good coin shop in Houston, let us know down below in the chat. You know, I was just in Arizona, got back yesterday, and I did not know of any good shops in Tucson. And what I did was actually ask my members here on YouTube, hey, where's a good coin shop in Tucson? And a few of you, I don't know if you're in the chat right now, but actually suggested I go to Old Pueblo Coin and talk to Ben, the coin geek. And I was like, yes, this is literally perfect. So I called the shop and talked to Ben. He's like, yeah, come on by after we close. So I got to do a video with him, and I posted it today, and it's been getting really good acceptance from the community and everything. It was awesome to talk to him. He's an awesome guy. And so I think if you're looking for coin shops, sometimes reaching out to the community. I'm trying to see if anyone's posting anything as far as in Houston specifically, but yeah, Coin Geek, he's awesome. Really, really awesome. Okay. Let's see. Can you cover tax changes that might be coming, concerning selling precious metals, please? So is this the $600 thing, Billy? Because as far as selling, okay, let's get into tax here for a second. Let's get into it for a second. So when you buy precious metals and then you sell them, well, okay, I'll just say you're supposed to pay capital gains tax on the money you made, right? If you make money. If you lose money, you can say it's a loss and help you with your taxes. That's the way it's supposed to be, right? So whether people do that or not, that's up to them. But the thing is, you know, with precious metals, you buy it with cash, then you go and you sell it for cash, and you're the only one that knows you bought it or sold it or whatever, and then it's on you, right, to report it and all that kind of stuff. So when you say like tax changes, I mean, if you're talking about like trading precious metals, like let's say you're buying ETFs, like all that stuff is like, you know, totally obviously tracked. And like when you sell, if you made money, like you're paying this and your taxes, like it's all linked to your social and whatever, you know, with like your accounts that you're buying this stuff with. So it's obviously different in that regard to like physical, you know, it's on you, right? You tell them, hey, I made this much money on your, you know, when you do your taxes. And so, you know, that's all I'm going to really say about that. But if you're talking about like the $600 thing where like sales over $600 are all getting reported to the IRS or whatever, I mean, that thing got pushed back till next year. And I don't really see how that's going to affect precious metals in general, because, you know, most of us here, you know, we're not really doing that stuff on like PayPal or, you know, whatever. It's like mostly just, you know, cash and that kind of stuff. So, you know, I don't really think it's going to have a huge impact. But great question, Billy. Let's see here. Tiger, Silver Dragons, can you really avoid gold dragons? No, I cannot avoid gold dragons. I own a bunch of gold dragon pieces. Well, not a bunch, but probably like 10 of them. No, I love gold dragons. Okay, here's a question. Is there anything special about the 2009 Silver Liberties? I bought 100 yesterday for $28 each. Nice. Attitude adjusted. I'm not exactly sure what you're referring to when you say Silver Liberties from 2009. Maybe you're talking about Lady Liberty on the American Silver Eagles. You know, we don't call those coins Silver Liberties, but I don't really know what else you could be talking about unless someone else in the chat lets me know about something I'm not aware of. But I think if people are calling a silver coin a Silver Liberty, it probably just is an American Silver Eagle. So yeah, no, there's nothing special about that year in particular. They're not worth any more money or anything like that. But the fact that you got them for $28 is actually a pretty good deal, because that's like a $2.50 premium right now. So great buy. Really, really great buy. Okay, let's see. Benjamin, gold or silver? To be or not to be? That is the question. Yeah, gold or silver? You tell me. I mean, what are you trying to do? You're trying to buy right now? Which do I like better? Look, gold is at an all-time high. We've been talking about this for, what, an hour and a half. Gold hit an all-time intraday high tonight. Literally, like an hour, 2 hours ago, we set the all-time record. Gold has never seen $2,100 before. It went to $2,124. This has never happened before. It's insane, right? So gold is sitting here. Silver, again, I mean, let's go to the big chart. Let's go all. Silver's like half of its all-time high, right? It went up to like almost $50 twice. It also did it back in the 80s. This chart doesn't go far back enough. And we looked up the inflation adjusted for silver, and the inflation adjusted for silver was like we're calling it $150 was the all-time high. The inflation adjusted for gold all-time high in 1979 was about $3,300. So silver is, needs to go up 6 times to get to its inflation adjusted all-time high. Gold needs to go up 50%, or a little bit more, call it whatever, 55% to get to its inflation adjusted all-time high. So gold, gold is crushing it right now. Silver's way far behind. Silver usually lags. If you want to pick one of the two, I like silver way more right now. I like it. All right, another question here from James. Gold is crashing under 2,000. What is going on? Well, we're looking at the live gold price and it is not under 2,000. But you tell me. Let's look at the futures. Yeah, no, I mean, everything's still up, so I don't know what you're talking about. Another question here. What about asteroid mining, precious metals, and rare earth? That's going to be so expensive to mine asteroids, and I don't think the technology's there. It's going to... I don't really see that being feasible. It would be crazy. But I mean, let's say they get to the asteroid, they go to mine it, and they're like, oh, it's all iron, Like, I guess I just don't know enough about it, but how do you test the asteroid before you get to it? Like, how can you tell just by looking at an asteroid, oh, this one has a bunch of gold on it, and they're moving like really fast. Like, to be able to get to it, pull the metals off, and then send them back to Earth seems ridiculous to me. I mean, I'm sure it's like physically possible. Obviously, they put a rover on Mars, but I don't think in my lifetime or even my kids' lifetime that's going to be like a profitable thing and really bring in any serious amount of metal to affect the markets at all. It's just not happening. I think it's almost like just fantasy at this point. All right, back to the regular chat. Silver needs to be a lot higher than it is right now. Yeah, silver's kind of just chilling. I'm waiting for silver to pop, and honestly, when it does, I'll be here making videos and we can all celebrate it together. But if we're trying to stack more silver, we kind of don't want it to pop off yet, right? We want silver to chill out, even go lower. Like, can we get $19 silver again, right? For those of us who are stacking. We got a question here from Grandma or Gma. Hey, Silver Dragons. What was the reason why silver hit $50 in the 80s? Yeah, great question. So back in the 80s, this is a fun story. I've done a few videos about it, but the Hunt brothers were buying up massive amounts of silver. So their dad was oil tycoon, billionaire, right? And when he died, they inherited all of his money. They were worried about the dollar, worried about inflation, but back then, like in the 70s, it was actually illegal to buy gold, right? Until I forget the date. So when they first started stacking, they were just buying silver. They kept on buying more and more silver, and they're really rich, billionaires. And at one point, Bunker Hunt was like the richest man on earth back then, because of all the silver and what the price of silver did. So essentially they kept on buying silver off of the futures market and then taking delivery of it. So they were stockpiling like massive amounts of physical silver, and it just drove the price through the roof. And the price of silver went up to $50, but then literally the trading commission essentially forbid them from buying any more silver. They made it you could only sell silver, as far as like paper silver, right? Because the paper market determines the physical spot price, and because you could only sell, the price of silver fell. And a lot of people on the trading commission who made that decision actually took like massive short positions on silver right before, so they could all get rich off of it, which is like another side of the story that people never really talk about, but super messed up. And so silver literally, spiked up to $50, and then like within a day, I mean, it dropped so fast. It was what was it called? Silver Thursday, or someone put it in the chat. I forget what the name of that. It was like a Thursday or something that when it all fell, but it was crazy. I was not alive back then. I was born in the 90s, so it was before my time, but I've done a lot of reading on it, and it's certainly interesting if you want to go back and look and see how they changed the rules to kind of screw them over, which is not really that surprising. So, the government crushed them. Yeah, if anyone else has any more questions, put them in the Q&A section there. We are once again looking at gold, which is setting an all-time high for intraday pricing tonight. We will see where it is in the morning. What do you guys think? Where's silver going to be in the morning? Right? The poll is, where's gold where's gold going to be in the morning? Yeah, Silver Thursday. Thank you. It's so funny. I've been talking about silver and gold all night. Sometimes I get confused. Where is gold going to be in the morning? Is gold going to be above 2100 when we wake up? I know I'm going to check my phone. I'm probably going to wake up in the middle of the night and start checking my phone, when the markets open over here in the States. And see if gold is really going to pop off, because it could go either way. I mean, to be perfectly honest, between now and early in the morning tomorrow, gold could level off, even move down. But then when the U.S. market opens, are we going to see a repeat of what happened when the Asian markets open and see gold spike up? We could. I mean, we honestly could. We could see another like $50 jump up in 20 minutes. I don't know that that's going to happen. Could it happen? Absolutely. It already happened once today. So, oh, man. Ralph is saying the Fed's going to raise the rate to pull back this price. Yeah, I don't think they will. I mean, honestly, it's an election year. It's predicted that rates are going to start going down in March. I don't think so. I'd be so surprised. But, Jerome Powell will be speaking at the next meeting in 10 days from now. We're going to get the November inflation numbers are going to come out. There's quite a few things that could really move gold and silver up or down over the next 2 weeks. So, like, really got to keep an eye on this stuff over the next 2 weeks. Okay, let's see here. I've got some Roman ancients I want to get slabbed. Which is best for this, NGC or PCGS? Hey, that's a really easy answer to question. You want to send them to NGC because PCGS does not do ancient coins. So there you go. You only got one option there. NGC. They're your only option if you want to get ancient coins slabbed. So there you go. Let's see. Yeah, he's talking live, not the futures. Right. Yeah, obviously. We were looking at the futures earlier. 21.11.80. They've been sitting at that. It'll be really interesting to check all of this tomorrow in the morning. Oh, look at that. 21.06. Futures coming down. They're still up $16 on the day. I mean, we're still at 21. As far as like, obviously intraday pricing, us never seeing $2,100 gold before, this will be the record. I mean, it is the record. Literally, we're setting the record today. If people say, what is the highest gold has ever been? Let's say gold crashes or whatever. This is the number, 21.24 for intraday pricing. Now, when it closes at the end of the day, what is the highest gold has ever closed at? That's another record. So there's multiple records for gold. What's the highest gold's ever been? Well, what's the highest intraday? What's the highest close? What's the highest gold's ever closed a month at was actually when November closed. So it was like 2075 or something like that. But anyway, we are coming up on 2 hours in the stream. We still have 500 people here. Thank you all so much for watching, for hanging out here on a Sunday night. It's been fun. Honestly, when I saw gold pop off, I knew I needed to go live, hang out with you guys, and just talk about it a little bit. I love reading the chat, getting all of your thoughts and opinions on this. Chowder says, "Why was gold spiking?" News. Yeah, we did take a look at the change in the predictions for rates to go down. Now it's looking like the first quarter of 2024. In March, we're going to see the first rate cut. So when these numbers change and everything changes, because the markets are forward thinking, they're always trying to predict what's going to happen. We see the moves happen before this, right? So that's kind of one of the reasons gold's going up. We looked at the dollar. The dollar is basically flat for the week, so it's not really the dollar getting crushed yet. It's what the markets think is going to happen while we're seeing the big move today anyway. So, will we see another big move in the morning throughout the week? It's totally possible. I mean, next week we could be saying $2,200 gold is the record, right? Just don't know. We just honestly don't know. I got a few more questions. I will answer a few more questions. I guess we'll go for 2 hours. So I got like 13 more minutes. So if anyone had a question they want, feel free to put it in the Q&A section. You got to click that little blue thing, and I'll try to get through them here in the next 13 minutes or so before we shut it down. But, we're coming up on 10 o'clock over at the East Coast. So we're not going to go all night with this, although that would be fun, and then see what happens in the morning. I will literally die if we do that. But yeah, smash that thumbs up. I'm not sure how many thumbs ups we got on the stream tonight. There was one part of the stream where the audio cut out for like 3 minutes, so I'm sure that affected something or other, but whatever, not the end of the world. So Tiger Stacker, which is better, PCGS or NGC for Dragons coins? Nice. I don't know. If I had to just pick one, I personally like PCGS more. It's a little bit, I guess the community has kind of agreed it's harder to get a better grade at PCGS, so I kind of value them a little bit more. It's almost like not quite as much as like getting CAC certified or whatever, but I don't know. If I had to pick one grading company, I'm going to go with PCGS, just me personally. But NGC, I guess theoretically does more things because they do ancients, and then they got the new scale, like up to 10 with the modern bullion or whatever, but that's a topic for another video. Okay, what about gold ETF? Should we sell or hold in your opinion? Great question, Michael. Yeah, as far as trading that kind of stuff, I mean, that's your call. Like, are you up? Are you trying to get in, get out pretty quick? I don't own any gold ETFs personally. I own the physical. I like the physical. That's what I'm all about. So I guess for me, I probably would hold. I mean, I'm holding physical, so I probably would do that too in the paper market. Okay, only 100K Palladium Eagles made, ? Yeah, US Mint has not made a ton of Palladium Eagles. It's not really that surprising to me. But people don't really buy them that much. And honestly, a lot of the old ones are like $3,000 to buy them, because Palladium was a lot higher for a while. So yeah, I'm not personally a big fan of the Palladium Eagles. Some people buy them, but yeah, they do exist. Okay, will the government take or ban silver or gold from the average American? Great question, Patriot. My answer on that is always absolutely not. There's just no way. The main reason is that our currency is not backed by precious metals anymore, so they have no reason to do it. The only reason I could see them maybe trying to do something like that is during wartime. Like, hey, be a patriot, bring in your silver or your gold jewelry, and we'll pay you so much for it or whatever. But I think it would all be voluntary. I'm trying to think. I think Turkey or maybe a few other countries have, in the last several years, done like kind of a voluntary turn in on your metals, but it was never enforced or anything like that. But certainly not in the USA. In the USA, the only time they ever tried to take away the gold was back in 19 13 or no, pre-33. So 1933. I'm getting tired. We're going to shut this one down. So yeah, back in 1933. And a lot of people didn't even turn in the gold then. There was like big fines or penalties and people didn't care. They just kept it. And, the government didn't even know. And so, yeah, I don't think it's ever going to happen. And if they do, you can always just bury it in the backyard. There you go. Okay, what do you think silver will do, when and how much? I think, my prediction was when they start cutting rates, that silver would go to $32, $33. So I still think that's going to happen probably next spring or summer. Do I think the Golden Girls were stackers? No, but I do think they like jewelry. We got a question for crypto. Do I like crypto? I do not like crypto for a store of wealth. It's so volatile. I think you're playing with the crypto casino. For me personally, I do not store wealth in crypto. I do like it as a means of purchasing things, right? So like if you cash out with your gold for a brief period of time into crypto just to make a purchase or whatever, like I think that's fine. So for a currency, I do like the idea of crypto. But for like wealth storage, I'm not going to be buying Bitcoins or anything anytime soon. I'd way prefer metals. If you love volatility, if you're all about that, get rich quick, it's basically gambling, with some of these coins, whatever, if you're an adult, you do what you want with your money. I don't care, but I'm not going to be diving in. Okay. Let's see here. When does silver respond in movement compared to gold? Yeah, great question. Historically, silver moves after, right? So we kind of see gold lead the way and then silver follows. So today, gold is leading the way. Silver was down. It's basically flat. Yeah, usually silver kind of lags. I mean, like 3 months, it feels like. So I don't really see silver popping off like this week, although it could. It certainly could. Especially if the dollar crumbles, because that's the thing is like the dollar hasn't crumbled yet. The dollar's still flat. So when are we going to see the dollar start crumbling? I think that's when we see silver pop off. So, gold is definitely paving the way. Gold is up first. No big surprise there. Yeah, I still think we're waiting to see something crazy with silver. Silver, I don't know. To be honest, is like slightly disappointing, I suppose. I mean, I remember buying silver when it was, 14, 15 bucks an ounce. So for it going up to 25, like, how can I really complain? But with COVID and all the currency creation and all that stuff, silver, I guess it's at 25. Like, it's definitely doing what it should be, but it's not, it's not at all-time highs like gold is. And so I guess for me, silver, I feel like it should be higher. I feel like it's just super undervalued. It just, when you look at the GSR, it's still above 80. It's just screaming silver, undervalued. So that's what I think about silver. But anyway, the big news today is gold jumping up $50 in just 20 minutes when the market opened. It was crazy to see it happen. It's going to be crazy to see what happens tomorrow with gold. I will keep my eyes peeled. Maybe we'll go live tomorrow. Maybe not. I'm not sure. But we're going to be shutting this stream down. So anyway, yeah, I think that's going to be it for me. Seriously, thank you all so much for hanging out on a Sunday night. I just decided to go live on a whim because it was so absolutely crazy to see what was going on. So, yeah, stay tuned. If something big happens tomorrow, maybe I'll do a video. I guess it depends on how big it is, right? Gold new all-time high. I mean, obviously, tonight we hit the all-time high. We'll see if it can recover. I honestly don't know. Let's end the poll here. We had almost 1,000 votes. Close out the poll. And the results are in. 51% of you thinks gold is going to end the year over $2,100. So there you go. And by the way, thanks for the super chats. There was a couple super chats mixed in there. JJ Watt. Yeah, no, really appreciate that. We're gonna be shutting it down. Hope to see you at Harry's someday. Yeah, I need to get back to Harry's. I'm gonna be doing another video with them definitely this week at some point. So it'll be great to go talk to those guys. Shout out to Adrian. He was on the stream earlier tonight talking about their buyback prices on gold and stuff like that. They're still paying spot over at Harry's Coin Shop for your Eagles and Buffaloes and things like that. So people are trying to cash out with their gold coins. Some places are still giving spot, but unfortunately a lot of places are kind of back a spot now. So all right. I think that's going to do it for me. Yo, Adrian. Tiger Stacker, do I think Yankee will get Bitcoin? No, I don't think Yankee's going to be buying any Bitcoin. By the way, I'm actually going to be meeting Yankee face-to-face in like a little over a week. So I'm really excited about that. I'll definitely put out a video and some content surrounding that. But anyway, you all have a great night. Thank you so much for joining me. We're going to shut it down right here. New all-time high intraday for gold. It hit 21.24 tonight. It was crazy to see. Literally, we're setting records tonight. Never, ever happened before. So thank you all for joining, and I will see you in the next one. Silver Dragons is officially out. Have a great